What's going on, YouTube? It's Drew Lefty NDV10. I got to think of a clickbaity title, but not really clickbait. This video, by far, my biggest pickup ever. A card really I didn't ever think I would own, realistically. But yeah, I was able to pick it up at the National. Literally just right place, right time, right group of friends and people and hobby connection stuff. But yeah, so it's definitely going to be a T206, obviously, given the backdrop here. If you're familiar with the set at all, or just even heard about it, this is not to spoil it, but it's one of the big four. So I've got some T206 rarities here in the back. The four toughest cards in the set. Number one, not the Honus Wagner, just speaking pure scarcity, would be the Joe Doyle New York National. Very tough card. Obviously, I think there's like 10 or 12 known out there. Honus Wagner, I'm just reading PSA Pops just because it's easier to find. But 10 Joe Doyle, New York NY. I got Honus Wagner clocking in at 36 graded copies. I think there's like 53 total out there when you factor in SGC graded. And then Eddie Plank at 79 graded copies. But figured I would just take a moment, kind of show off some other rarities. These are some of the most expensive cards in the set. If you look at the pop reports, they might kind of deceive you. This is Elberfeld, Washington, obviously. His other card is in New York. Very, very tough card. This is a perfect example of the pop reports really kind of not showing the whole story. If you look on the PSA pop reports, you will see more Lundgren Chicago cards graded than the Lundgren Kansas City. I kind of just chalk that up to people know how tough this card is, so they grade like every one. It doesn't matter if it's beat up, crumbled, whatever. But this was only a 1909 print. Obviously, he was traded to Kansas City in late 1909, early 1910. They swapped it over, redid the card. And then, of course, these are the two, the Polar Bear short prints. You've got Ray Dimmitt, St. Louis American. Obviously, this card with this front only comes in Polar Bear back. He's got a New York version that comes in other backs. He was traded as well, of course. Polar Bear is 1910 issue only. And then this is the O'Hara. So, just generally speaking, in the realm of T206 world and collectors, pre-war people, most consider a set complete at 520 cards. A master set is 524, obviously leaving out the big four, so to speak. So I finished my T206 520 in, I think, 2021, really before the craziness boom, of everything. Luckily, I did finish early on and got started well before that. So, yeah. So anyways, crazy story. So before I was collecting pre-war back in, college, high school, etc., I was a big modern collector, and I had assembled a Freddie Freeman 2011 Topps Chrome rookie autograph rainbow set. Had every single one minus the Superfractor 101. Had the Atomic to 10, Red 25, Gold to 50, Blue, Black, Refractor, Sepia, Base, etc., etc. You get it. I think it was 8 cards in total. And, after he left the Braves, I just didn't really feel the same connection to those cards. I hate using that. That's such a dumb word. But, he's just not a lifelong Brave. He won a World Series here, but... he's probably going to win more with the Dodgers, and, I hope he does. But, I had probably $500 into those cards, and I threw them up on eBay and had several offers in the 5 figures. And I just figured, instead of that hassle of, possibly getting scanned, I would just take them to the National and see what happens. So I walk in the show on Wednesday after waiting about 2 hours in line to get our VIP badge with Max and Scott. And I walk in the show, 15 minutes in the door. I walk past the table of guys counting like $13,000, $14,000 for an Ohtani card. And so I just asked him, hey, you buying modern? And he goes, yeah, I'm buying good stuff. And I said, oh, cool, I've got some good stuff. And, I throw him on the table, and he's like, oh, let me get my boss. We negotiate for maybe 5 minutes, and I get a stack of cash in my hand. price that I really couldn't refuse. And it was super easy. I wish I got the guy's name, the dealer. Great to deal with. I had joked before the show and really before with Max and Scott and a couple other people. I was like, yeah, I'm going to sell these Freemans and buy a Maggie error. And honestly, did not really think that was a realistic possibility. So again, Max and Scott step away. I'm at this table for 5 minutes, do this deal. I'm like, holy crap, that was the easiest sale I've ever made. So I've got this stack of cash. I'm like, all right, let's go find me a Maggie. Jokingly, again. So, the day ends, we leave. We go to our pizza joint, Moretti's. Great pizza, by the way, if you're ever in Rosemont or Chicago in general. It's a pretty good tavern spot. Don't go to Giordano's. Not the biggest fan of Lou Malnati's. It was okay. We just had the takeaway version. I really want to try Pequod's if you're a pizza connoisseur like myself. But Moretti's is a great little tavern spot, and so we're there with some friends. And a friend of ours, is like, yeah, I'm selling this Maggie. And I'm like, oh my God. Max just hands me the card. I'm like, what in the world? And he's like, oh, are you serious? Like, you want to buy a Maggie? Because I'm looking to sell this. And I'm like, I would love to buy a Maggie. And he throws a number out, and I say sold, and I hand him the cash. It was like 30 seconds. It was, just absolutely insane circumstances. Could not have written a fictional story about baseball cards better. So, here's the corrected version, so to speak, from my set, which is not the best copy. You can tell it's a 1910. Decent card. This is Sherry Maggie. Had a pretty good career. Obviously more famous for his T206 cards, but so this is the corrected version with the proper spelling, Maggie, M-A-G-E-E. And, they fixed this early in the run. I don't know who figured that out, that they spelled his name wrong, because he has 150 cards with this correct spelling. This is a 1910 version, so he's a print group 1, so he's in the 150 and the 350 series. Tough card. This is a tough card in general as well. I think mostly tied to the rarity of the uncorrected error. But this is a really popular card. These routinely sell for $250, $300 in a good solid mid-grade like this. So that is the corrected version. And if you're still with me, kudos, because this is a long video and I've rambled. But this is a monster card. And I am just absolutely over the moon for it. You can see there. Well, maybe. There we go. M-A-G-I-E. This is the uncorrected version. This is the error Maggie. This is one of the big four. Maggie, Plank, Wagner, and Doyle. And I really don't even feel like this is real life still. I'm in shock. You just don't see these. The pop report is such a deceiver on this card. There might be 2 to 3 that pop up for sale a year, if that. And, they routinely are just over the moon in price. So this gets me to 521. So as far as my T206 journey goes, that's probably the end of the rope. Planks have just ballooned. They sat at like 50K for a 1 for a decade straight, and then the last few that have sold have just exponentially increased in price. So I am obviously not in the tax bracket for a Wagner or a Doyle. I really didn't think I'd ever get a Maggie, so I never want to say never, but man, the jump from 520 to 521 is just such an honor. I am so thankful, and this is for a 1 about as good as you're ever going to get. You can see the registration difference on the 150 version here versus the 350, just the quality. I want to get a 150 corrected spelling Maggie one day, but yeah, this is huge. 521 cards. I've got one of the big four. Love to see it. Love to see it. But John, thank you so much. I don't think you watch my YouTube videos. I'm so stunned, so thankful to have this card in my collection. And thankful to everyone I met. I'm going to do a full national recap, but this card deserved its own video. So if you stuck around for 10 minutes, I appreciate it. That's all I got, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace out.